What's going on in the building? It's been way too long. But guess who's back? 3 of the 4 horsemen. Wayne has officially
retired,
opted out of doing podcasting after Joel Embiid completely fell apart in the Sixers because that was his favorite player. And he gave up. He gave up hope. He gave up on podcasting. I think he might be done at least until the season starts. But nonetheless, we are here for your listening and viewing pleasure. After a while, I hope everybody's having a great summer. It's been a while. I hope everybody is still all right. Phil W., what's up? Welcome to the show. His first words is Maury has to go. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about just what's been going on in the league, the finals, Halliburton and LeBron James culture, champion ring culture, and all that kind of stuff. We're going to get into a little bit of it. But first, let's start off talking about the obvious. What's up, Ziggy? Talk about the obvious elephant in the room. The Sixers draft pick. NBA draft is tonight. The Sixers picking 3. Draftable VJ Edgecombe. What y'all think about it? Talk to me.
I'm not mad at it. I understand Ace Bailey didn't want to come here. My scouting, I like Trey Johnson out of Texas. I thought he was the best scorer in the draft, the best shooter. I guess drafting him at 3 probably seemed like a stretch at that moment. But sometime you got to make that leap. Was drafting Curry at 7 a stretch when they made it? Well, you get drafted at 7. So sometime if I'm scouting and I think I am, I think somebody is the best player, I'm taking them. I don't care where I'm at in the draft. Would you trade back to get picks? I don't know. We know Ace Bailey got out of there, but VJ Edgecombe he's a nice player, very athletic, can run the floor, can defend. He got work on the shot, things like that. But the athleticism right now translates to the league, in my opinion. Athleticism translates to the league right now. So,
and
was he the best player available?
And shooting translates to the league as well. If you're a shooter, you can shoot anywhere.
That's true. But I said this before. We are a little guard heavy. We got Grimes, we got Maxey, we got Lil Z. So we a little guard heavy. We would like to have some big men to kind of balance that out. But we'll see how it goes. I'm not mad at the draft. I'm not mad at the pick. I'm not mad at it.
I'm mad.
Why you mad? Why you mad, son? Tell us why you mad.
Because it made no sense. You had a chance to get somebody who's like 6'9" and Ace Bailey. He was there.
He measured 6'6".
He measured 6'8". He measured
no,
6'8".
He did not. No, he did measure 6'6" at the combine.
You saw him standing next to the commissioner, and he towered over the commissioner. Then you saw VJ Edgecombe standing next to the commissioner, and they was the same height. And the commissioner was like 6'4", 6'5". What I'm saying is we needed Maxey is 6'2", McCain is 6'3", VJ Edgecombe is 6'4", and Quentin Grimes is 6'4". So that's what we are. We top heavy. We at the guard position,
6'7",
and they all the same size. We had an opportunity to get somebody that was.
So W said VJ about 6'3". I thought y'all told me VJ was 6'4" or 6'5".
I said 6'4".
Tim keep pumping everybody height up.
I said he was 6'4", but 6'3" was even worse. All that athletic dunk and everything, that don't mean nothing in the NBA. You're not doing all that in the NBA because those boys down low ain't gonna let you do all that unless it's a fast break. In the NBA right now, the way it's constructed, you have to be able to shoot the ball efficiently. And the best shooters in the draft this year was Ace Bailey, who was available, and Trey Johnson. And we had a chance to take both of them. We did.
He's 6'4" in barefoot.
That's why I said he was
6'4" barefoot.
I said he was 6'4". So I'm
6'5" in sneakers. Go ahead.
We had a chance to do something special, and I know Ace Bailey. He did a lot of stuff not to come to Philadelphia, and he played himself because he was like he wanted to go to Washington or Charlotte. They said he had ideal places that he wanted to go to. So he got some bad advice, and that's why I put it in the header. Ace got some bad advice. Now he's in Utah. Ain't nothing in Utah. I know he regret doing what he did now because the Sixers, he had a chance to work out for the Sixers and he played this. He pushed us aside because I'm sure he didn't want to play with Joel Embiid, which is fine. But now you stuck in Utah. You played yourself, young boy.
He definitely played himself. He should have. He'll probably talk to Donovan Mitchell about his time in Utah. And maybe Donovan Mitchell will tell him all the good spots and how to survive being in there for the next 4 to 5 years.
Donovan can't wait to get out.
Yeah, unless he get traded. But I'm not too overly familiar with none of these cats. I mean, I'm just looking at numbers and height and highlights. It is something to view these players in a natural environment in the tournament in the regular season, and I didn't get a chance to really do that with none of these dudes. I mean, I'm kind of leaning on y'all insights, some of the insights from people in the comment section, and their wisdom on who's who and who's a baller, who a bucket, who clutch. That also comes into the equation. So I mean, we gonna see. I mean,
this what.
Go ahead.
Another thing about Ace Bailey and the other dude who went number 2. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Harper.
You got 2 dudes that went 2 and 5, and their team did not make it to the tournament. That tells me a lot about you as a player. How do you have 2 dudes in the top 5 and they couldn't get their team to the tournament? To me, that's a red flag. I don't know. Am I reaching with that?
Yeah, because they young. They both 18 years old. I mean,
so what? You a top player in the country. You got 2 top players in the country, and you can't get your team to the tournament. What are you doing wrong?
I can agree with that a little bit. I don't know what the rest of the teams look like as well. I mean, who their coaches? A lot of that kind of comes into the equation. Whatchamacallit field goal, VJ field goal was a little suspect. He shot 34% from 3. He shot 43% from the field all around. College numbers, you gotta be a little higher than that for me to be a number 3 draft pick, especially. I mean, let's look at what was Trey Johnson? What was his name? What was his stats in college? Trey Johnson. Let me see what he was doing. Stats.
More has to go. Me. VJ played against grown man.
Yeah, he listed as 6'6". He shot 42% field goal and shot 40% from 3. He is a shooter. He is a bucket. 39.7 to be exact. Taking close to 7 threes a game. He was making about 3 of them out of the 7 that he took. That's good. That's good. 40% 3-point shooter. Free throw, 87% free throw shooter. Field goal percentage, a little 42. First year in college, that's not bad. You know what I mean? We got somebody, Dominic, saying Trey Johnson can't defend. Derek Queen, a better fit. What y'all know about Derek Queen?
Trey Johnson does have to work on his defense, but I think that's something he can add to his game. And solving the race problem, you're right. That's how I feel. No matter what rest of the team can do, 2 players drafted in the top 3 of the draft, they got to carry and do more. I'm good on Ace. To me, they should have made it to the tournament. I don't know. We'll see how it translates into the league, though. They could have had the Ben Simmons mentality. You know how Ben Simmons didn't really care about college because he knew he was going to the league. They both was one and done too, so they could have had that same mentality.
It was disappointing.
The mentality I don't like, though, by the way.
Question: I don't know if y'all. Who's the greatest Bahamian player ever to play in the NBA? Who's known as a great Bahamian player?
The Buddy Hill. Is Buddy Hill the best Bahamian player? We got somebody else. Who else?
Yeah, and that's where we're there.
There lies the problem, huh?
You know who was Bahamian? You from your bull. Who was the? You know what I'm talking about?
Who that?
The Street Fighter Bull.
Street
Fighter Bull died of a bad heart. Oh man, what's his name? Famous boy that made street fighting famous. Why can't I think of his name? Bald head boy with the beard.
Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo. Yes,
he was. I didn't know that.
Yes.
So we got Rick Fox. I think they said Michael Thompson. So you got Rick Fox is the great
Kimbo was Bohemian.
I did not know Kimbo was Bohemian. That's interesting. Yeah, Slice was the man for a minute. Slice was a phenom, an internet. He was probably one of the first original internet phenoms when everybody kind of started getting on YouTube and he was fighting. He was dropping balls on a bare knuckle street fight tip. Yeah. That was crazy. That was back in the early 2000s. That might have been like
rest in peace, dude. Rest in peace.
Maybe something like that. Yeah. He had a bad heart. Come to find out, he had like a heart murmur. He had a bad heart. Because remember, he would always get when he went to the UFC and all that. Was it the UFC or some kind of mixed martial arts fighting? He would always gas out real fast. He would always get real tired. Yeah.
Remember, he gassed out fighting the big cop though.
Yeah, the big white boy cop. Yeah, he gassed out. So he had about 2-3 minutes of fury. If you got through them rounds, you could beat him because he ain't had no tank. His heart was bad.
So the greatest athlete from the Bahamas is Kimbo Slice. Let that sink in.
Slice was built like a techno, bro. Slice. I remember. I don't know if y'all knew he was doing like gimmickry stuff where they had him lined up like a safety, and they had people like in the park trying to catch passes across the middle, and he was knocking the stuffing out of cats coming across the middle. It was crazy. But
or you got DeAndre Ayton.
DeAndre Ayton from the Bahamas.
Yeah.
I mean, beautiful people, man. I like Bohemian people.
We're not talking about them as people. We like them. I like the Bahamas. I enjoy that water. I'm talking about leading the Sixers to an NBA championship. Who are we going to get?
It's always a first.
It is. Look, nobody did it from Canada until Shea did it. You know what I mean? So
that was. Let
me ask you. Hold on. Okay. Do you think he will be the future leader of the team, or is he just another piece on the team? Is he a solid piece, or is he the future? Like this is his franchise. How do you feel about it?
I don't know about that.
We had a chance, even if we took Trey Johnson, that backcourt of Maxey and Trey Johnson would have been.
You got Maxey and Grimes. I think they picked VJ because I think they think he's athletic enough he could play the 3 sometime too.
But dude, they got him as a wing. That's even worse. You got a 6'4" wing player. I can't.
It's like Danny Green.
He like Gary Payton Jr. They Golden State got Gary Payton Jr. all over the place. He be playing center. Gary Payton Jr. be playing center sometimes. He like 6'4", 6'5".
But to me,
he got hops. Gary Payton Jr. is a freak athlete, and if they think this boy
so is DJ.
Athlete, but with the third pick in the draft, that's a miss. You gotta almost have a guarantee. Like
no, you don't. Nah, not now. I mean, look, what's the last number top 5 picks that was? It's still it's top 5 picks playing on other teams as pieces.
The thing is, if you want to go, but at least you got somebody with potential to be a great player. Like you don't know the floor or what Ace Bailey could do, but you know that he has the potential to be a great player. All the players we're talking about, Durant was talking about.
Listen, I'm done drafting on potential, man. You got to show me now. Name me somebody that's succeeded on potential. They show you now. There's no players that they potential blew you out the water. Name me one.
They all one and done, but what we do know is
listen. I need you. Remember. Hold on. Remember that Sixers draft? They said Tatum was the most NBA ready, but all these other dudes has potential. The most NBA ready player was the best player in the draft. Stop with all this potential. It hardly ever works out.
Yes, it do. It worked out. And the fact of the matter is, everybody saw the TV that made a lot of difficult shots while he was in college. He was a really good player. He was averaging 17 points a game. He 1 year.
Come on, potential. Wemby, they did not draft Wemby on potential. Are you crazy? They didn't draft Wemby on no potential. We drafted Sean Bradley on potential. That's who we drafted on potential. Sean Bradley. Look how that turned out. This is why you don't draft on potential.
This feels like the Sean Bradley draft all over again.
Y'all can kind of agree with Ethan. I mean, if you got later picks, I think you draft more on potential. But if you drafted in the earlier rounds, you want to draft on whoever's more NBA ready. I kind of agree with that.
Nah, if you got somebody that could
ready players, Chris Webber, NBA ready. Penny Hardaway, I'm going back. NBA ready. These dudes with nowadays, the draft is now because these dudes is coming out younger and younger. They drafting on potential. That's what's going on in the league right now. But dudes gotta be the readier dudes to me are better. These I know you draft these dudes, they 18, 19 years old, and you're like, well, when he's 21, 22, he could be this. But it don't turn out like that all the time.
So Morris said he thinks we have one of the best backboards in the league with Max. So we're gonna be running Maxey, Grimes, McCain, and Edgecombe. Those are 4 guards. That's our 4-guard rotation.
With Joel Embiid?
Possibly with Joel Embiid.
Well, George,
you're a top 3 draft best player. Yeah, you top 3 draft best player. Yeah, I agree with that too, Phil. You draft the best player in the top 3. MOTC, Maxey, I think Ethan's talking about if you draft high, you draft who's most NBA ready. Maxey was drafted late first round. That's when you start drafting more on potential, in my opinion. Late first round, second round. And even middle first round, you could probably draft, more on potential. But if you got a first top 5, 6 pick, I think you want to draft the most NBA player ready who can help your franchise immediately, in my opinion. Unless you feel his potential is LeBron, Steph Curry, and ain't nobody seeing it.
Listen,
but other than that,
Flag, if they were drafting on potential, Ace Belly would have went first, not Cooper Flag.
Yeah, I could kind of agree with that. You want to get somebody who more can help your franchise right away. Somebody who's more of a guaranteed potential sometimes never comes to fruition. That's one thing you got to remember about potential. Potential is just a mythical thing that may or may not happen. NBA ready is somebody who definitely going to contribute. Now, whether he's going to be this great NBA player or not, it remains to be seen for everybody. But I think it's more of a lock, stock, and barrel that he's going to be able to contribute immediately. So, but I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I don't really know too many of these dudes. You know what I mean? As in depth as some other people, and they were able to watch, college ball this year. I wasn't really locked in, so I got to go back and do some homework, watch some highlights, see some interviews with people saying about them, and hopefully we made the right draft pick. I got some people saying, a couple people said Charlie said he think it's a solid piece. Phil W can't stand it. MOTC, what are you saying? Are you with it or no? You hating or you congratulate?
Tim, you should have put up the poll. Tim should have put up the poll about are they happy with this pick?
Yeah, put the poll up, Tim.
I think he was, in my opinion, I know Tim wanted Ace Bell. Other than he was, to me, he was the best player available. He was the best player.
BJ Edgecombe?
Yes.
Over everybody that was drafted after Harper.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the best player available.
Who? BJ?
Because let me ask you something. What does VJ Edgecombe? What does he do well?
He defense and he's athletic. He can run the floor. He can shoot. He can't shoot the ball as good as Trey, but he can still shoot the
ball. So at an elite level.
Right now, he's come. This is the thing. Right now, you could play him. Defense, he can lock somebody down. If anything ain't going on, because you already got players around that can score. He could come in right now and lock somebody down. Trey not doing that. Trey not coming in right now locking somebody down.
People don't even play defense like that in the NBA.
He plays defense. He's athletic. He plays defense.
They don't even play defense like that in the NBA.
Trey has to score to be effective. And on this team right now, you got too many dudes that need the ball.
No, because he can catch and shoot. That's what you need in the NBA.
Yeah, but you got Grimes. You got McCain. You got Maxey. You got Beads. You got Paul George. Where's he fit in at?
They all do the same thing. You need to shoot. That's the style of the NBA. What he's doing is like a 90s game, a 90s version of the NBA. We don't need that right now.
Put your poll up. Pause.
Yo.
Put it up. Put the poll up.
I don't even know how to do a poll.
What? I mean, Paul, you put up several on this draw before.
I can't remember.
Oh man, this. Anyway, it's kind of split. Look, that Ziggy just said he congratulated. He not hating. MOTC. I don't think I got his comment yet. DSS Dalin. He said he congratulated as well. I think he liked the pick. Somebody said Ziggy said he could be the next D Wade. Both platinum beats, no Diddy. If moving slow, like he off the dog. I don't know. Maybe I'm not reading that correctly. The next D Wade. D Wade was very athletic for his size. He was 6'3". I mean, phenomenal defensive player. Phenomenal. I think he got he probably got the most blocks at a 6'3" guard in NBA history. Got a lot of steals, physical. I mean, he is kind of built like a D Wade, a little bit, a little taller, but he is kind of built like a D Wade a little bit. That might not be a bad comparison. May not be a bad comparison.
Congratulations to his family.
If he could be 65, 70% of D Wade, you got a ball.
I have to agree with that.
When we crowded at that position, we wasn't even crowded at the position with Ace.
I think we might get rid of. I think we might let go of D Grimes. I don't think D Grimes is going to be a Sixer this coming year.
See, I would keep him.
Why not? He balled out
because you got Maxey, Lil Z, Grimes.
Get rid of Lil Z,
and now you got the Lil Z was balling. Hold on, whoa!
You got size with Grimes.
I remember coming on this.
I don't know what you remember.
I don't remember on the very podcast, and people was telling me that Lil Z was better than Maxey, and I'll be talking about getting rid of Lil Z.
Whoever told you that?
It's crazy work.
I don't know who told you that, but
okay.
I'm keeping Grimes over Lil Z.
Yeah,
he
taller, bigger ball, and I think he can handle
Lil Z. At one point, Little Z had like when he had in like 5 games, he had like 3 30-point games. Lil Z was hooping. I can't. As much as I want to hate on the nail painting factory and all this stuff he was doing with his moms, and he got a nail line coming out, as irritating as that stuff is to a bull like myself, he was hooping. I have to give Lil Z his props. He was getting at a certified bucket. He started off struggling a little bit early, and as soon as he started coming around, he started hooping. Now he is a little fruity. I agree, DSS, he fruity, but he was hooping. He was hooping. And he's he embraces the fruitiness maybe a little too much, but he's not frazzled by like, I think somebody came up to him in the supermarket. They must have been watching our podcast, and they said, they call you the Zesty Hooper. He kind of started laughing. He said, yeah, that's my name. I'm not. Now he's known as the Zesty.
He embraced it. I heard he got it tatted on his neck.
Yeah, don't do that. right on the back of his neck, Zesty Hoops. But Grimes was balling too. Charlie, he was. But at a certain point, this is what I'm saying. All right, okay, so y'all saying get rid of Lil Z. You got to get rid of somebody. You legitimately
Grimes a baller. I'm keeping Grimes.
You can't keep all these dudes. You can't.
He actually carried the team. Grimes carried the team.
That, Ziggy calls him fruit hoop. I like that. That's actually very, very classic. So okay, so we got the 3. Now we got VJ, Maxey, and Grimes. That's who y'all want to go with?
Yeah, I'm rocking with that. We need to find a way to get Paul George out of here.
So I mean, if we could package Paul George and Lil Z actually has some value based on what he was doing. He got some value. He hit the market. You could actually get. I'm not saying you get nothing crazy, but you got a little value in Lil Z.
We got send him. How about you send him to Atlanta? He'll be real successful in Atlanta.
Lil Z might be able to listen. You need a 6-man that can come off the bench and give you a bucket, though.
That's Grimes.
So we starting VJ at the 3?
No, it's Paul George. VJ right now. VJ and Lil Z come off the bench.
Who are other guard? We had another guard too. So that's what I'm saying. We got the ball.
Your guard position is locked up with Grimes and Maxey. That's
we got the other boy too. What's his name? Who I seen in the G League?
Edwards.
No, what's the other? Not Edwards. Well, Edwards. You got Edwards. That's what I'm saying. You got him. You got the other boy. What's his name? With oh man,
I know you're talking about. He ain't playing with us no more. He done.
He is.
I don't think so. You liked him like that?
He was cool.
He had the little fro.
Yeah,
I forget his name, but
oh man, what was the boy name? I can't even remember his name. I think he had like dreads or braids before, and then he kind of cut them off. Yeah, I forget his name. He was hooping a little bit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see. We need some hype.
Starters right now is probably Maxey, Grimes, Paul George, Kelly Oubre, and Joel Embiid.
So we need to back. I don't like this team the way it's constructed. I'm telling you, we was Ace Bell. We was one.
Lonnie Walker's another one. Lonnie was hooping a little bit too. I see why Tim. I do see why Tim is. If Ace Belly is truly at least around 6'8". I know we talking about he's 6'10" at one point. He was now.
He is 6'7".
If he get around 6'8", that I can understand why Tim is adamant about that. That's a difference maker, man. When it comes to defense, when it comes to rebounding, all that kind of stuff like that, it can be a difference maker when you need it on your team. We don't have enough of it. I do think we could use some more. But I am conflicted about drafting dudes that don't want to be here either. Like that adamantly kind of want to be here. I know Phil was kind of saying Phil W.
Got to Philly, that would have been a total different story.
Yeah, I mean,
he would have embraced him and he would have loved the city. I never met an athlete that was here that hated it. It's the advice that he was getting from his agent and everything. He had a brand new rookie agent that was I think it was a player's dad giving him all that bad advice.
I don't think. See, this is the thing. It ain't about. I think it's more him than the agent. He's going to tell the agent what he wants, and the agent's going to try to make that happen.
That's true.
You know what I mean? If he say,
"No, I don't want you to go,"
but your agent could. No, I agree with Ethan. But your agent can be the voice of reason. Like, for instance, it was a dude I was watching this NFL player, and he went to go buy a cyber truck before they hit the market. So, like, before they hit the mass market. So they was trying to upsell this cyber truck for like $250,000. You know, when they came out, they was only around $100,000. And he called his business advisor, and he wanted the cyber truck, but he called his business advisor, and he told him, "Nah, that's not a good move. Don't do it." So, Ethan is right. Regardless of what you want to do, your agent, business advisor, whoever can give you some solid advice as to what you probably should do. And if they had their ear to the street, I guarantee you he'd rather be in Philly than Utah right now. I can promise you that. I can promise you that. So he got bad advice and he got bad direction as to what to do. Regardless of what he wanted to do, they should have said, "Listen, if Philly want to take you, let them take you because you might end up in Utah." And that's exactly
what his agent is. This is his only client. This is a brand new agent. He's just bad. He went with somebody. He went with his friend's dad. So sometimes your agent don't know. He's wet behind his ears himself.
I mean, I'm not arguing with that. Phil W. saying that Steph didn't want to come to Golden State neither. I'm not sure how adamant he was about that though. He was happy when he got picked because I think he wanted to get picked earlier, obviously, and he ended up going to 7. But I don't think he was ducking workouts from Golden State like the Bulls, whatchamacallit was us, Ace Belly was us. So I do think that's a little bit different how adamant and outspoken he was about kind of, or at least in action about not coming here. And Sixers decide to pass.
And Charlotte traded the ball that center Mark Williams that got traded to LA and rescinded. They traded them to the Suns.
Who?
They just showed us that team fit is better than just a bunch of talent. He said something about Trey Ace Belly too. They did say Down Report did hate on his rebounding. He wasn't a great rebounder.
The Pacers are 15 deep. The Pacers got talent. I do. There's a lot of team fit in the Pacers, but Neesmith, Nembhard, and the rest of them boys and Turner, them boys are certified hoopers. They bucket. The boy which one is the light skinned boy? Neesmith and Nembhard. I have to mix their names up. The light skinned boy with the braids can shoot.
That's Neesmith, I think.
Man, he get at a bucket. He a hooper. Let me ask y'all this. Switching gears a little bit. Talent and fit, I agree, DSS. Do y'all think the Pacers would have won if Holly didn't go down with the torn Achilles?
I think Holly was hot too.
He had 9 points like in 9 minutes. He was gonna go for 40 that day. He was gonna try to win that game. And then
I think it would have been closer than it was. How about that?
I can see the Pacers winning that game.
I'm not arguing with that, but let me play devil's advocate. Or as Tim say, white devil's advocate. But let's talk about devil's advocate.
I don't say that.
If all year, let's keep this in mind, OKC did not lose back-to-back games all year. Was it going to happen? I mean, I'm just saying, history is on their favor. They did not lose back-to-back games not once this season. And y'all think that Pacers would have snapped that?
Yeah. Yeah, Pacers team was different this year, though. Pacers team was different this year. Holly was ball.
You see all them games they won because of Halliburton last-second shots?
Yeah. Listen, again, on the Holly thing.
Dominic, I'm going to address that 1 second. Go ahead, Ethan.
On that Holly thing, going forward, I know y'all heard what Ephraim posted the video. I just had his name in my head. It slipped my mind. About not playing if they say it's a calf strain.
Oh, Big Perk.
Big Perk. You think athletes going to take that advice now and not play if it's a calf strain and tear their Achilles?
To me, it seems like it's going to go regardless. At that point, like, can you stop it from really going?
That's a good point. I mean, I think rest can help heal it. I mean, now how much rest we talking about? How long do you have to rest in order to heal something like that? Because it's interesting. I was thinking the same thing when it happened to KD, back when he played for Golden State. Could he have rested that injury so it never happened, or was it something that is eventually going to happen?
Yeah, I think it eventually was going to happen. Yeah, I mean,
so if it's eventually going to happen, I'm saying, and really I asked that because if it's eventually going to happen, you might as well hoop and let it happen.
I'm not a doctor. I don't know. With rest heal that tendon, I don't know.
That's another thing we got to talk about too. Is a lot of players been talking about, or ex-players have been talking about, the amount of games and the frequency of the back-to-backs is putting more wear and tear on the players than ever before. But before I get on that, somebody did address me in the comment section, so I wanted to. Dominic said he said this what I said. Let me make sure this is an accurate statement. He said that I said players who, what do you say here? Even remember you said that you can't win with players that seek free throws, and he put the big eyes emoji. Now, yes, I did say that. I don't know if I said you can never win. I probably said it's very difficult to win.
No, you say you can never win.
Now, what I will say about the Bull SGA is that he definitely he changed his game to the style of play or to the style of refereeing. Because at a certain point, he wasn't getting all them ticky-tack calls that he was getting in the NBA Finals. He actually adjusted his game, and I have to give him credit. One game I think he had like 14 or 15 in the fourth quarter, only shot 5 free throws in the game and still ended up dropping over 30 points. That, to me, is adjusting your game based on how the referees is calling, elevating your game, and taking your team to a victory. You could do that. I can't hate on you. But the majority of Harden's game was predicated. The comment was addressed about Harden. That's why I think I said that. But the majority of his game was predicated on getting free throws. I had to give him SGA credit.
I'm looking at free throw attempts from him the last 6 games, and I see he got 12, 8, 14, 10, 6, and 12. So he still got to the line.
That was a 6-point game. I'm talking about that one. He had 30 and he got
but 6. I just said that the last 6 games of the series, he got to the line 12. He won game 12, 8, 14, 10, 6, and 12. So he still got to the line. He didn't have to change that much.
8 and 6. So he got 1 game with 8, 1 game with 6. I mean,
he got 12, 14, 10, and 12.
But I'll say this: he wasn't. What to me, the games I watched, because I did watch more games than you, because a lot of times you was falling asleep. Full disclosure.
That's why we couldn't go.
Full disclosure. Your face was in the pillow. He wasn't fishing for the fouls as much. Now, whatchamacallit, yeah, no homo. I will say this as well. Whatchamacallit was playing foul. They were playing foul defense. The Pacers was playing aggressive enough when you could have easily called fouls. Now, both of them were playing some very aggressive. They both played very good defense. But my point is, you could have easily called fouls either way. So it wasn't absurd that he was actually getting foul calls in that series. It wasn't beyond me. I do agree with somebody in the comment section who just said, I think it was Phil W., that he's surprised SGA pushes off as much as he do. He pushes off a lot. He does. He creates a lot of contact to create space. And it was getting a little egregious a couple times. He did throw the arm way out there. Like I see, sometimes you get a little chicken wing or you get a shoulder nudge. That's all acceptable. He definitely was throwing that forearm way out there, which I thought probably should have been called at least a couple times to curtail some of the extraness.
Yeah, but they knew the NBA wanted them to get that ring.
Yeah, they got one. Somebody said SGA got to learn how to create more, be a better become a play. But SGA got to learn to become a better playmaker. Since if you want to chip with your game, do you now change it?
You got to evolve.
No, you say this is how we won. This is how I won. I'm not changing my game now, right? They built the team around me to win this way. Now I got to change my game.
You still want to get better. Just as an athlete, because a defensive coordinator going to figure it out.
Teacher got game said, I don't think he's built out. I know sometimes you can say stuff on a pod and all of a sudden somebody bring it up a year or 2 years later. I don't think he's that great. I don't know. We'll find
SGA.
Ace Belly. We'll find out.
You're going to find out, and then I'm going to play this back. I don't think he was that great. What time?
You can graduate Shoot.
All right. On to another note, as regards to injuries, do y'all think that some adjustment needs to be made about back-to-backs, maybe even the length of schedule, maybe even the in-season tournaments? You remember that takes up a couple games. Maybe I think the in-season tournament they count along with the 82 games, except for the actual tournament game. I think.
Yeah, they play like a one extra game.
Yeah. Or maybe the play-in, which I think everybody likes the play-in, but the play-in is adding extra games. Or do you possibly go back to the first or maybe even second round being 5 games instead of 7? What we thinking here? Is there any consideration that needs to be made?
To how many games? Too many games. You know the best season I liked when there was a lot of basketball on when they had that shortened 50-game season. That seemed like a lot of fun. They 82 games is way too many. Dudes ain't playing half of them anyway.
They can cut it down to 70. I feel if they cut it down to 70, they'll be all right.
But I guess what you got to do is figure out a way to still generate that revenue from losing the games because these players
NBA they just got the TV contract to sign with NBC and Amazon.
But it's for 82 games, right?
But that's greed at this point.
NBA. I mean, look at the salary cap for the players.
Or let me ask you this. And I know whatchamacallit actually mentioned this. What's the more Adam Silver? Do you possibly consider shortening the game time from 12 minutes a quarter to 10 minutes a quarter,
like the Olympics?
Nah, because they still gonna play the players. Nah, I don't think so.
I'm just throwing it out there. What's your thoughts on it? Why not?
It'd be less minutes, but then you
still dressing, you still playing. You're just not playing as you may be playing 4 minutes less. Your body needs to rest.
Hold on, but you got to think of 4 or 5 minutes left a game times 82.
It's a lot.
I get that, but they still might be playing 32 games. They still might be playing 32 minutes.
I could kind of agree with Ethan. I think before I would cut the games because the games are surrounded by a contract right now, at least them 82 games. I would consider cutting the time back maybe to 10 minutes, but also not playing any back-to-backs. I don't think they should take back-to-backs out the schedule. I think it should be at least a day rest in between every game because players are now playing so much ball, working out so much more off-season, open runs they doing.
Y'all see working out. He working out. He ready.
But we not.
The boy ready.
He's not doing that. It's that time of year again. Ben Simmons has released another video. But we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But I'm just saying, as all the work, you work with players. Most players, at least your top tier players, got a personal trainer. So you going in, you working out even during the season, you working out after the season. Your body is constantly under stress, and obviously, you put maximum amount of stress on it during the game. So my opinion is to space out the games, no back-to-backs, and possibly think about shortening the game clock to 10 minutes. I think that might work.
Okay.
Abdul says less games going to cut back the player's bag, but they still continue to tear Achilles with all that ball each year. Somebody did mention that too. They said players may be more or have to be more willing to take a little less money for a better product. Or does the NBA have to be willing to take, and the teams have to be willing to take less money for a better product?
It's kind of like a split. It's 49. It's like 49, 51 owners. So the players get a lot of the money. So,
but Charlie, see, my point is, this is what I hear from old school bulls like Charlie. Well, they played 82 games back in the day, and you ain't have all these injuries. Them players didn't work out nowhere near to the level that they do now. Charles Barkley admitted that he never lifted weights during his NBA career. Michael Jordan didn't start working out and lifting weights until he was in his maybe 7th, 8th year in the league. These dudes is playing since AAU ball. They playing in before they even get to high school. Then they playing extra games in high school. Then they go to college. It's a whole workout. It's way more. And granted, it's more sports science behind a lot of it, but the body is still the body. The tendons haven't grown and thickened up since 85 to 2025. Your body's pretty much still the same. Yeah, I mean, some players have gotten bigger, bigger, a little stronger, faster, and all that. But your tendons is still your tendons. So you're going to strain them. They're going to pop.
Blockchain gang. I watch more basketball than all of them. So stop being a hater.
He is hating. Now, I got to give Tim props. He fell asleep in the finals, but he definitely be locked in on this ball. And
I play more ball than both of them.
Less games means no records are going to get broken. That is a sacrifice. That may be a sacrifice. I mean, but look.
LeBron got them all anyway. It don't matter.
What'd you say?
LeBron got all the records anyway. It don't matter.
Yeah, that's kind of true. You ain't breaking too many LeBron records. But, I mean, if this becomes – I don't want to be like sometimes at your job, one person do something, they come in late. And then everybody, all of a sudden, the job handing out memos like, one person coming late. We got to change the whole. We got to change the whole policy and all. I don't want to be that guy. But you got to change the whole policy just because one season happened, a lot of injuries. But if it becomes a continual pattern of especially your star players getting hurt, you're going to have to make some changes. Just like the NFL did. As soon as their quarterback started going down, they said, whoa. These ninjas on the line is getting too fast, too strong, too big. And they killing our product because you're taking the best player on the field or the player who has the most control over the outcome off the field, and that's not good for the product. So they had to make changes. So I got to be fine with you as a business, which the NBA is, making changes to protect the product. You got to think about that.
I'm getting a little tired, but I want to cover a couple more things real quick.
Okay.
We are thinking about Tracy McGrady saying that if he had Shaquille O'Neal, that he would have just the amount of success as Kobe had.
You can't just jump into that.
Yeah, you got to talk about the ring culture comment first.
Yeah, it all started right with the ring culture. So you're skipping the beginning and jumping to the end.
All right, go ahead. Start off.
All right. That's one of the questions I definitely wanted to address. I've been hearing a lot of talk. We probably should do this podcast a week or two.
I need to do a whole podcast for this.
Yeah. Thanks, Ethan and Tim, for not being available to do a podcast. But that's either here nor there. LeBron James makes a comment. And when when LeBron talks, the NBA world goes bananas. All right. He makes a comment and he says the NBA, talk about the NBA and players' greatness has become a thing about ring culture. I don't know when it started and so forth and so on, but now that's the whole thing is about ring culture. What are y'all thoughts? Now, before y'all have your thoughts, I know a lot of people is coming out saying LeBron James saying rings don't matter. You chased him to Miami, and he made sure the team was tight in Cleveland before he went back to Cleveland. Did the same thing in LA with the Bull. Was the tall light-skinned Bull. Did the same thing with him. He made sure his team was, stacked before he played. So LeBron cares about rings, but now he's complaining about ring culture. What are y'all thoughts? Y'all agreeing? Y'all disagreeing? Talk to me.
What do they say when there's usually the comparison between him and Michael? First thing people mention is that he has 4 rings and Michael has 6. They always say that he has 6. He never lost the NBA Finals, where LeBron has about 6 losses in the NBA Finals, or 4 losses in the NBA Finals.
6 losses. He's 4-6.
Okay, so that's why he probably feeling a certain type of way. Like, I'm a great player. I have the rings, but it shouldn't be defined by the rings. It should be everything else. So I get that. And
I don't think he was really. All right. When I have a conversation with somebody, right, and I bring up, and I'm going to use it because we used the example before. When I bring up a player like Dominique Wilkins, and I talk about how good a greater player he was, the thing is, people say people don't talk about because he ain't win anything. Does him not winning anything diminish his greatness? Charles Barkley, great player, didn't win anything. Karl Malone, great player, didn't win anything. We in the era now with the ring culture where if you don't win a ring, it almost diminishes you as a player.
But as a player, you gotta win a ring. To be in the upper echelon,
you gotta win a ring to be what?
To be considered one of the greats, like the all-time greats, or a GOAT. To be in a GOAT category, you cannot be in a GOAT category without having a ring. Not in basketball.
You can.
Okay. This is a certain level of. I agree with that a little bit, but let's take it back a little bit. LeBron James, to my knowledge, never said that rings don't matter. This is the talking points that I'm hearing from. I heard it from RC. I heard it from Paul Pierce. They all keep regurgitating the same point that he never said. He never said rings don't matter. What he said was it has become a ring culture. What does culture mean? Culture means the dominant aspect of whatever you're talking about. Language, actual culture, like, people you live around. In this instance, he's talking about the dominant talk of basketball now is based on your rings that you get. And if you don't have rings, excuse me, that's become the major influence of how good you are, when it should be, in my opinion, that's what he's saying, when it should be more on your talent and probably ring secondary. Because it does take a team to win a ring. When you win a championship, everybody gets a ring. Even the coaches, even dudes who never played get rings. When you win an individual award like an MVP, a scoring title, defensive player of the year, you get the award.
You gotta get a ring. You gotta get a ring to be.
I'm not.
Let me ask you this, Tim.
Go ahead.
Real quick. The best running back in football is who? Now you gotta think. Now you about to jam yourself. Who the best running back in football?
All time?
Yeah.
Walter Payton.
Give me 3 of them.
Barry Sanders.
Barry ain't got no ring.
I said basketball. I specifically said,
and that's what LeBron is talking about. He said basketball became a ring culture.
Yeah, because in basketball you gotta have. You do. I'm sorry. Sometimes everything is not equal.
But I do agree. Basketball and football is a little different because you can impact the game, but basketball a little more because you get the chance to play offense and defense. That's why I'm not. That's why again, Brian never said they don't matter. He said it's become a ring culture. I mean, it's too much ring dominant. And I say this because this is my point. You keep saying rings matter, rings matter. Brian has 4 of them, right? But still, it's people who talk the crazy talk like Brian is beneath people who got 2. But it's become so, people have become so bent, and it's not necessarily rings, it's more Jordan's rings. People become so caught up on this 6-0 type thing that anybody who has 3 rings, 4 rings, can't beat the 6 rings that Jordan has. Now all of a sudden they don't match up to Jordan. That's really what it's come down to. It's really all about Mike more than anything. And it's become this 6-0 Mike Ring argument over LeBron's 4-10, and going to 10 championships is insane in itself. Whether you want to say he lost 6 of them and all that, going to 10 finals is absolute phenomenal work. But that's neither here nor there. I do think it's been a little too much emphasis put on whether you have titles or not. Even if you have a title, then it's like, well, how many he got? He got 2 titles, all right, and he got 1 title, so the 2 titles makes him better because he got the 1. Nah, I don't think that's fair. It could be somebody with 2 titles, somebody with 1. The person with 1 could be better than the person with 2 because he's just a better player. When LeBron James lost to Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry won his first title, LeBron James was clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, the best player in the court. So just because Golden State won,
right now, if LeBron has 6 rings, he wouldn't be having that. He would never put that topic up for conversation.
No, I don't. Maybe not. But
it's a topic because he knows that he's not going to get to where Michael is. He's not going to get 6. So now he's trying to put that little fillers out there. Like, listen, 4, I still be the greatest. You know, and we all LeBron James. Nobody on this podcast is a hater of LeBron, but LeBron is the self-proclaimed greatest player of all time. And
so why can't he be? But
that irritates people sometimes. That irritates folks when you going around telling them, "Yeah, I know I'm the greatest. I feel like I'm the greatest."
Will Chamberlain said he was the greatest player too.
You.
Will didn't Jordan said it? Jordan said in the interview at 2. Jordan said he thinks he's the best player ever played.
Jordan said during while he was playing, but now
what good difference do it make?
It does. It just irritates folks. Not paying it just irritates
because it's LeBron.
I mean, okay, see this what I don't get, right? So you say you play for rings and you play for winning. What else do you play for? But Bron says I'll play to be the best player ever to play, and that's wrong now because he says I feel I'm the best player. That's what I play for, to be the best player. But now it irritates people because I play to be the best player. But it don't irritate people to say I'll only play for championships and wins. But that's hypocritical. Because if you're playing to win, if you're playing to win, that means you're playing to be the best player on the best team or whatever over everybody. So now if you say, yeah, I'm the best player, that's what I play for. Now he's wrong.
People want to hear that, though. They don't want to hear that. They let other people say that. That's for other people to say. It's not for you to say, especially while you're an active player on the court.
Winning a ring means you beat everybody. So that means you're the best, right, Phil W? That means you're the best team. And that means if you're probably the best team and the best player, that means you're probably the best player. That means you strive to be the absolute best, whether it's the team, whether it's individual. If you win a championship, you are the best. You're the best. So if you say, I'll play the NBA, if I got a player in the draft and I say, yo, what's your goal? And he say, man, listen, I love ball. I want to be the best power forward ever to play in the NBA. And I grab another dude and I say, yo, what's your goal? And he say, man, look, I just want to hoop, man. I like hooping. I just go out there and I'm going to do a good job. Who you going to take? I'm taking a dude that's saying I'm trying to be the best power forward in history because I know he's going to give it everything he got. That's what you want to hear somebody say, not when he say it just because he's good is doing it.
You still got to back it up.
He did. He got 4 titles.
No, I'm still saying in general, you still got to back it up.
Yes.
Somebody say that to you. Still
absolutely. Didn't LeBron James not back it up? So why are you mad at him?
I'm not mad at him. I'm just saying some people just don't want to hear him say
it. Why are they mad?
It's just how they feel.
If you mad because you hate LeBron. If you mad because you hate him. That's all it is. If you mad that he says I'm the best player, when Steph Curry said I'm the best point guard in history, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
Hating LeBron is just weird to me though. It's weird.
It's like that Toronto series that they won against Golden State a few years ago. Toronto wasn't the best team. Golden State just got injured and they wound up losing. But you're sitting there saying if you won, you're the best team. I don't agree with that because I think if KD never got hurt, Clay never got hurt, they would have won that series maybe by a sweep. But what I'm saying is because
I'm saying
those injuries
no. Listen
they
to me.
ended up being the best team that year. They go
listen
down
to me.
The best
I
team.
said okay. I said if your goal is to win a championship every year, your goal is to be however you get it, your goal is to be the best team, the last team standing. That's your goal, to be the best team you can possibly be.
But what are the best team?
Huh?
So you consider Toronto the best team that year?
No, I don't care if they win or not. I'm just saying your team, your franchise, Once the Sixers get on the court every year to win a championship, they don't get on a year. They don't, most teams don't get just to win go to the playoffs. Most teams get on the court to win a championship.
Yeah.
So the same thing for a player. If your player is saying, I get on the court and I want to be the best player in history, and I feel that I'm confident enough to say I am, why are we mad? I don't get that. Who are these people that's mad? But I accomplished what I set out to do. It's the same thing that the team accomplishes when the Eagles started out this year. They didn't start out to go to the playoffs. Jalen Hurts went to get his lick back. Saquon came to the Eagles because he wanted to win a championship. He wanted to be the best team. So if I say I want to be the best player, why are you mad? The best is what everybody supposedly wants you to acquire. Why are we mad? I don't get that.
You like LeBron James.
That's what it is.
I'm a huge LeBron James.
I'm talking about these people you're talking about. They're mad. They're mad because they don't like him. The bottom line is, in your life, personal life, you should strive to be the best at whatever you do. Sales, plumbing, electrician, you should try to be the best. And you say, yo, if somebody called you and say, yo, why should I hire you? And you say, look, I'm one of the best electrician out there in the game. You hire me, your joint gonna be tight. I'm one of the best construction workers, carpenters, whatever. I'm one of the best out there. You hire me, you're gonna be tight. What you gonna be? What you mean? Man, I'm cool. I'm all right. I mean, I can hook up some lights up for you, but come on, your job is to be the best. Not be the best. Don't be mad when somebody say I'm the best. That's crazy.
Jumping to Tracy now, I'm going back to Tracy McGrady, my original point. I guess he's taking.
Thank you, Ziggy. Go ahead. So what you think about Tracy?
As he would have had the same success as Kobe Bryant had he played with Shaquille O'Neal and those Laker teams of yesteryear.
I agree with Tracy.
Even though he never won a first round playoff series.
Shaquille O'Neal, do you see the numbers Shaquille O'Neal was putting up? Do you see Shaquille O'Neal's dominance? Shaquille O'Neal was a monster out there. He was averaging like 33 and 16 in the playoff run. Come on, man. He was unstoppable. Shaquille O'Neal was virtually unstoppable. We got to stop this.
So any good shooting guard could have played with Shaq and they would still won a championship with him and Phil Jackson.
I believe so. I mean, he went to the finals with Penny. He went to the finals with Kobe. He went to the finals with D Wade. I mean, what are we saying? Hey, did you see the interview with AI? AI said pretty much the same thing T-Mac said. Ain't nobody jumped down. AI said if I had played with Shaq in LA, it would have been crazy. And Shaq was on the interview with him, and Shaq said, yes, it would have been crazy.
I'm just asking questions. I kind of agree. I agree with him, even though no disrespect to Kobe, because Kobe did prove after he got the other two rings that he was a leader. He wasn't just a role player. At the time, I do believe he was a role player those first three championships, but when he won those other two, that was Kobe.
No, listen, Kobe had a great team. Let's keep in mind. I don't think, I'm not here to try to discredit Kobe's legacy. Kobe was a phenomenal player who worked. Kobe is the mindset that you want all your athletes to have. He worked tirelessly to be great. He put probably 70, 80 hours worth of work week into his craft, and that's why he was as great as he was. There's no hate on me from Kobe Bryant. I will say,
something with a choice of wife, but go ahead.
I will say, please don't discredit the team that he won with LA. You go back to that finals and look at the stats that them other players is putting up, especially when it comes to field goal percentage. The Bull Gasol was averaging close to 20 points or maybe over 20 points a game and was shooting 60% from the field. Every starter that, I think was the last finals they won, every starter outside of Kobe and what's the other guard they had? I can't remember his name. I think it started with an A. Every starter shot over 50%. Odom was like 50, 53 or 54%. Somebody else was at 50, and whatchamacallit was at 60, and Kobe shot he shot the second worst, which is 43, And then the other dude, what was his name? What was the other dude's name? I keep thinking Gilbert Arena.
Could they still have one with Eddie Jones and never had Kobe?
Oh, that team? No, I mean Kobe still was the leader. I'm not discrediting Kobe. I'm just saying that team was a very solid, well built, well put together team.
I'm talking about those first 3 championships.
The first 3 championships with Shaq
and Eddie Jones. No Kobe, you got Eddie Jones.
I like Eddie Jones. He was a hooper.
He was.
I think they could have won 1, maybe 2, but I do think Kobe was instrumental on the third. He was instrumental on the second one too, but more so on the third. That's when he started becoming Kobe being Bryant. So I would give Eddie Jones 1 with Shaq, but the 3, I would give Tracy 3 with Shaq, and I would give AI 3 with Shaq. I would. The only thing that kind of separates Kobe from AI a little bit was Kobe's own ball defense was very good, and he worked very hard at being a great on-ball defender, which helped out obviously the team win, and also the league helped a little bit too. Because you got to remember that Sacramento series was a little bit fugazi when they Sacramento should have been the title. So you gotta we kind of know how that turned out. So I know as much as people want to, praise Kobe for the 5 championships and Shaq for 3 in LA and all that. That Sacramento series was a little bit fugazi, but
definitely.
But
I think Shaq was a Finals MVP too, all 3 times for the Lakers.
He was.
Oh, Shaq was dominant. That 2001 when we played them in the finals, that was Shaq.
He was doing all type of stuff to Mutombo down there, man.
He tore the house down.
Yeah, Mutombo.
Yeah, he probably should have went to prison for the stuff he was doing to Mutombo.
But Abdul, do you think Vince Carter could have won with Shaq? I think Vince Carter could have won with Shaq. He said Vince Carter was the problem and couldn't win. I think he could have definitely won with Shaquille.
Yeah, so, listen, like, and this is another thing, and this is what Tracy McGrady was saying too. He said sometimes he wasn't put in a position to win. Sometimes it's about opportunity. It's about the team you on. It's about where you fall. It just the cards didn't fall right for him. So you can't knock him for that. The team, he could have had a different team around him. It's a lot that goes into winning sometimes. Sometimes it's about falling in that right position. So, and I know everybody hate on.
All right, we had a
what happened? Am I lagging?
No, I was just pausing.
I said I know everybody hit on LeBron for leaving Cleveland, but he ain't had no players when he was there. So, all right, Tim, go ahead, wrap it up.
All right. I'm wrapping up real quickly. What y'all think about the NBA trades that went down the last 3 days, including Kevin Durant going to the Houston Rockets?
I think it's a good.
They give up.
I think it's a good move for Houston. I have no idea what Phoenix is doing right now. I know Phoenix said they're going to trade Jalen Green. I think they have to. I think they're going to get rid of him and Bradley Beal. The only one I think they're going to keep is Bradley Booker. It appears they might be in a rebuilding phase. I don't know. So I don't know what Phoenix is doing. I'm surprised they couldn't win with the 3 that they had, at least get into the playoffs. But Kevin Durant going to Houston, I think, is a good move. He there with the boy Chet. He there with Van Fleet, Adams, the young boy, the Thompson twin boy. They got some hoopers there and a good coach with the boy Udoka. So I think Houston. I think that's actually a good move with him going to Houston. I know a lot of people kind of like, okay, well, I'm by myself now. I know a lot of people like, KD. They kind of look at him a little bit washed. He still could get a bucket. That's what Houston was missing last year against Golden State. Somebody who could actually go get a bucket. So when he comes there, we'll see. I think that's if the chemistry is right. I don't like the fact that they traded. As much as the bull Dylan Brooks irritates me, he's actually a very good defender and he can knock down that open 3. But he's a very he's a good emotional leader. Hype bulls up. He's like a fake Draymond a little bit, but sometimes you need them kind of cats on your team. But I think you might need getting a bucket a little bit more, and KD can get at a bucket. So I think that's a good move for Houston.
I don't know
what about Drew Holiday leaving Boston and going to Portland?
I thought Anthony Simon's move was a good move. They got younger. Drew Holiday is cool. He got defense. He can hit the shot here and there. His jump shot's a little streaky. Anthony Simons can get at a bucket.
That was a good move.
That was a very good move for Boston.
Yeah.
Very good move. Yeah, they traded the young boy Green. They traded Jalen Green. That's what I was saying. They traded him. They to Phoenix. I think Phoenix is going to move Jalen Green. Now, let me ask y'all this real quick. Would y'all bring Jalen Green here for the Sixers? Because Phoenix is trying to move him.
Another guard?
He's 6'5". He's athletic. Would you take him over Quentin Grimes? Or would you take Quentin Grimes over Jalen Green?
I like what I saw in Quentin Grimes.
Okay.
Jalen
Green also. Jalen Green and Lil Z together could be a fantastic backcourt. They both paint their nails.
Ain't Jalen Green the one messing with the old head? Is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
Messing with Drea. She got a son the same age. That's crazy. All right, y'all. This is fun. We had to pretty much play catch up. We ain't been on in so long.
We had to bring up like 30 topics this week. Good stuff, though. Good stuff.
You guys, we said we're gonna try to do this weekly again. We'll be back. You know,
I think I might take Green too, Ziggy. Go ahead.
Yeah, but don't forget to y'all know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that.
I did. Maybe we can talk about it next time. They've been disrespecting Jalen Hurts on the low too, in some of these little Yahoo polls and all this other stuff like that. Talking about the boy in top 10 and all this old crazy work.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
They've been disrespecting Jalen a little bit. We're going to talk about that when we come back on for next time. There's a lot of hot topics, a lot of hot takes. We got to get back at y'all.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit that like button and also share the videos.
Good seeing